So, your favorite TV show probably just got canceled, and here's the funny thing, I've probably never heard of it. This is JARHUMOR speaking, and I was looking on the internets, and a popular streaming service has just canceled quite a few of their TV shows. I guess I'm still calling them TV shows. They're streaming shows. Does anyone watch TV? I don't think I could name a single show that's actually on a network television channel that broadcasts, unless The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers are still on. Are they still on? Oh my God, are The Simpsons still on the air? The Simpsons came out when I was in like 3rd grade. I'm 42 years old. South Park came out. Sorry for the noise and the weird noise in the background. These are the boards creaking on my rickety floors. I'm trying to make the production value. It's got to be up. Why am I walking around with on the rickety floors? I like to pace when I talk to you guys. South Park is still going. South Park came out when I was in high school, which is crazy, and now I'm 42 years old. But South Park is ranked one of the highest something TV shows. I saw that. Some graphic. It had like South Park and the Mandalorian is extremely popular. I've seen the Mandalorian. I've seen South Park. Let me see this thing. But I want to talk about how I firmly believe that Hollywood is done. It's just done, and that content is now king. Content creators are now not only the future, but they are the present. They are the now. They are what's happening. That's the point I wanted to make. I don't want to pull up this graphic that I have. There's a bunch of other TV shows. That Ted Lasso something. I don't know. I can't think of his name. He's very funny, and I can't ever remember his name. All I can remember is, God, how did he get Olivia Wilde? That's all I can ever think of when I see him, but I can never remember his name. But I can't think of his name. But I never watched that show, but I hear it's very funny. So this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how I believe Hollywood is dead. And I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited that Hollywood is dead, because ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to be a filmmaker or an entertainer, an entertainment. How do I put this? I wanted to be a show business person. And then as I grew up, I realized exactly what that was. And I didn't realize how sleazy that was. It's like no decent human being who understands the implications of being a Hollywood producer would ever want to grow up to be that. You know what I mean? It's like someone who says when I grow up I want to join the military and protect my country, and then you end up in some black ops. You're a secret agent sniper, and you're doing weird stuff for the government that you really didn't want to do. It's like, am I protecting my country? This feels sleazy. That's what being a Hollywood producer is. You think you're entertaining people, and then the guy from the CIA shows up and says, "Oh, here, this is the propaganda we need you to push in your film and television shows and all that." It's the sleaziness of it's the satanic worship of Moloch, the owl god, which actually I think I could get into. You know, Moloch doesn't seem like a bad god. He's a big owl. Seems neat. But no, I never ended up a showbiz phony like I wanted to become. I ended up an independent artist. I ended up, being a creative, independent artist. And at first I was a little bummed when I realized, I'm never going to make it in Hollywood. Now I'm kind of relieved, because I see that ship, sinking, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness I wasn't on that. Thank goodness I wasn't on that boat. But now I'm on the boat that will only be sunk once they've completed their great reset and they've taken the reins back of propaganda, and we're forced to only watch 3 channels on television again, and they control all 3 channels and everything that we see and hear and how we view the world. So there you go. So until then, content is king. Because when I come home from my day job, my working at a grocery store gig, I don't flip on the television. I don't even turn on a streaming service. I watch content created by people like myself off of a video streaming sites. That's what I watch. And I think that's a better investment in my entertainment time than watching the latest streaming services TV show that I know they're going to cancel. I feel like we've got to stop feeding the machine, though. First of all, why are any of you subscribed to any streaming service? Why are you paying for any streaming service? One simple internet search will show you how to get all that crap for free. There are people that I know that are not very technologically savvy that are talking to me about how to jailbreak this and that and do this and that, and I'm like, that's crazy. And the more people realize how to do that, the less money these places get. Good, because they're not good with it. They're not good with their money. They piss away their money making really weird TV shows that no one has heard of. All of these shows, this list of shows that have been canceled by this popular streaming service, I've never heard of a single one of them. Some of them seem interesting. Some of them seem very imaginative. Some of them also seem like they have a very limited audience. And that's what content is, though. But the key difference between internet content created by people like myself and these tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of $1,000,000 in some cases spent on an entire season of a show is that I can produce it for next to nothing. They spend way too much money trying to get an audience, even with the marketing and the advertising, which really they don't spend that much on it, the marketing and advertising. I would imagine they just put it up on the homepage when you log in. I don't know, whatever your streaming service. Oh, this seems interesting. Oh, there's a trailer for it. I'll watch the trailer for it. Let me see what this is all about. One of the ones that was popular on the streaming service was a show called Wednesday, which I enjoyed. I thought it was neat. But it's based off of an old IP, The Addams Family, created by a cartoonist like myself, Charles Addams, who created The Addams Family out of pure imagination and with pen and paper. And do you know how much that has given to Hollywood, to the entertainment industry? Do you know how much The Addams Family has given? Do you know how much cartoonists in general have given to that? Because it's so easy to create using your imagination and just a pen and paper. And talking earlier about South Park, do you know how cheap an episode of South Park actually is to produce? Far cheaper than most TV shows, mainly because the creators do most of the voices themselves. They don't have to send the animation overseas. That's a huge reduction in cost. If you have a moment, look up the documentary 6 Days to Air. It's about the process that they use to create a South Park episode. It's insane. It's wonderful and insane and incredibly inspiring. But you have to ask yourself as a content creator, with the technology available, what is stopping us from making those things? And there really isn't. There are people out there making the things. This is what we need to be doing. We need to make the things. Now is the time for content creators to create their own IP, their own characters, slap those characters on a t-shirt with I'm sorry, I hit the wall with my I was coming around the corner. I banged you against the wall, audience. Sorry about that. You create your characters You come up with your catchphrases, your cowabunga dudes. You slap that on a t-shirt, on a print-on-demand t-shirt. Bam, there you go. Start your own little business. And let Hollywood go. Let it burn. Let Hollywood and the entertainment industry go. Stop giving them money. Stop feeding the machine. All right? You've got to take charge of your own entertainment. You know? And here's the thing. Okay, so these video sites that I watch, these content creators off of, do I have to watch these stupid little ads? Yes. For stupid crap I don't care about? Yes. What do? I mute them. I mute them so they don't win. I look away a little bit. I focus on the little clock down in the corner that says I got this much amount of time before I can skip it. If I really like the creator, I don't skip it because I know they get more money if I don't skip it. I say, I'll wait the 30 seconds. I'll just stare at this clock running out because I care about these content creators. I want to make sure they continue to have the money to do what they do. You know, if they have a place where you can donate money, if you have merchandise that, you know, you can buy it from them, everything helps. You know, supporting real content creators. Support real content creators. Stop spending that money on a streaming service. All right? Everyone keeps telling me the economy's bad. Economy's bad. Stop paying for Hollywood to make crap that most of which you do not watch. All right? Because the truth is you watch Stranger Things. That's all you cared about, and you just were too lazy to get rid of the subscription. Because let me tell you something. In particular, when it comes to Netflix, and I try not to say the names of things, but I want to talk about Netflix. Because I haven't subscribed to Netflix since they stopped the whole DVD thing. Once I could no longer get DVDs in the mail, I could care less about Netflix. I love physical media. Physical media gives you the power over retaining that which has been created, so they can't 1984 it and redact it and get rid of the episodes that have offensive material in it. So they can't put warnings in front of it. So they can't digitally put hair over Daryl Hannah's butt. I'm tired of this. Preserve what we were. All right? Learn from history. Contextualize it. All right? Disney released Song of the South with a full-length documentary about the Uncle Remus stories and about that gentleman, the actor who won, what was it, an Oscar for that role? Put out the documentary with it, but release Song of the South on Blu-ray. That's what I want. So yeah. To me, you have to preserve history. You have to preserve, because there's so much weird crap out there that gets kind of shoved aside. So I was watching one of my favorite content creators on the internet, Red Letter Media, and they were talking about this movie. It was Jay and Josh talking about this movie called The Dark Backward, which I just so happened to have seen and own a copy of on DVD. I bought the DVD, I think, at like a $5 Walmart bin or something like that. I saw the cover and I looked at the back and I go, I've never seen this before, but I want to buy this. It's $5. And I said, this looks amazing. I said, I want this. No one else wanted it because it was crap. The $5 bins and the dollar store DVDs are amazing places to find just hidden gems. And I had never seen The Dark Backwards before. It's an Adam Rifkin film. It's beautifully weird and surreal, and I love it. It's grimy and just, it's art, right? And evidently Tubi, like, you can watch it on Tubi right now, but who knows for how long? You know, who knows for how long people will be exposed to this beautiful thing on the internet? Who knows for how long the things will exist on the streaming services? They'll just all of a sudden disappear. And then what? Physical media. I want to go back to the days of where people would record episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and share the tapes with people. You know, like that's such an amazing thing, recording things off the TV. I mean, right now we have better technology where you can grab things from places, put it on physical media, give it to people. You know, like, I think that's such a wonderful thing to do. We have to preserve the weird and wonderful things that have already been created. You know? We have a responsibility as consumers of entertainment, and we have a responsibility as people who are content creators to go out there to make things. The one thing that I will say to my fellow content creators is raise your standards a little bit when it comes to production value. When it comes to production value, and this is something I work on myself, I feel like the recorder I'm using right now is decent, even though I know I'm walking around and I know you can hear my window air conditioners and various other things, but I feel like it's atmospheric. You hear the boards as I walk on them, you hear the window air conditioners, I get too close to a window, maybe you hear a truck go by, something like that. It's atmospheric. We're going to call it atmospheric because this is very much me walking around my home with this Tascam recorder in my hand, telling you how I feel about a thing. That's what this is all about. But raise your production standards because your audience has to be able to hear you and see you. All right? And with the technology that we have today, that's possible. Raise your standards. Get a good microphone. You know, don't rely on the microphone on your phone, on your, according to my thermostat clock, it's 4:44. So get a good microphone. Get a decent camera. I don't record off of my cell phone because I have a junky cell phone. I don't have the latest whatever iPhone something or other. I have a crappy Android phone that I got for like $20 or something like that. I think it's called a ZTE or something like that. I don't know what it is. All I know it's a cheap phone because I don't care about phones. I hate cell phones. But I use a Sony Handycam to film all my little videos in them. And then I have a CAD condenser mic that I record the audio separate. So the audio is a lot cleaner and a lot nicer. And there you go. And then I put the two together. Production value. Raise your production value. Come up with creative ideas. Keep your budgets extremely low. Keep your projects small at first. Experiment with things. You hit upon something that someone really loves, expand on it. But make stuff for people to enjoy. Go out there and make something because this is our time. Hollywood is over. Their shows are going to keep being canceled because everyone's scattered to the winds. No one can agree on anything. No one thinks the same way. And you know what? It's liberating. It's not necessarily a bad thing as long as we can find mutual respect for each other, which that seems to be in short supply. But sometimes you got to go through you got to go through the dark times of people not realizing how good it was when we had a little more respect for one another in order to get back to that place. It's like, oh, this is really terrible that we don't have respect for each other anymore. We should go back to having some type of at least mock civility is at least somewhat civil. Even if you're calling them an asshole in your mind, at least you're smiling and going, yes, of course. You know, I have to do that every day at work. You know, mock civility. I'm not asking for real civility. I'm asking for mock civility from you. But we're all scattered. We all think differently. And in that, we all want different entertainment. And entertainment, information, content, it's amazing. So, I'm working at the grocery store the other day. And this woman's doing that where you shop for other people via an app. And I happened to notice she was also watching an online video on her phone. And the chick seemed kind of like gothic and like all done up in sort of a way. And I said, what are you watching? Is that like paranormal investigation? She's like, oh no, it's like about murders and stuff. And I said, oh, okay. I knew it had to be something along those lines. It wasn't the ghost part, it was the murder part. But I knew it. I could tell by the way the girl in the video, it's like this goth chick in this very moody lighting. I'm like, this has got to be paranormal type stuff. So I thought that was interesting. She's listening to this murder show, basically, this online self-produced murder show, while shopping for someone else's groceries. Folks, that's the future. We're in it. It's not hoverboards and flying cars. This is the future we got. Okay? This is it. So I'm very excited. I'm not going to be pessimistic about this. I'm going to say, let Hollywood burn. Let it die. Let it go away. We are in charge of our own content now. All right? We decide what gets elevated. We have a true artistic entertainment meritocracy forming. Except for that pesky algorithm, the robots. I said a lot of problematic things probably in this so far in this video. I'm trying to think like what it is I said. Did I say Operation Mockingbird? I think I said that. I'm probably if I were currently monetized, this might get demonetized. Who knows? But I'm not currently monetized. The goal is to eventually get monetized. And that's another thing that I want to add to this. I was talking to my colleague today at work. I said, nobody wants to work in a grocery store anymore. During the events a few years ago, they called us essential workers. They said, these people are essential. They're needed for society to function. Well, yeah. Yeah. You don't want to stand in a food line and get food out and pay for food from a truck. You want to have some type of dignity where you go to a grocery store and get it off the shelves, right? Well, there are people that have to put that stuff on the shelves and make everything look nice. And those people don't get paid very well at all. And it's insane to me that they still call us essential workers, considering the lack of respect. Nobody wants to be a clerk. And they certainly don't pay us as if we're essential. And the fact that I come home from my clerk job and then what is basically podcast because I feel this could be more lucrative in the future, that this somehow has a higher cachet or status, content creator is higher up on the food chain than grocery clerk, is madness. Which is why I want to do both. This is what I want to do. I want to be an essential worker, and I want to contribute to society as someone who puts things on a grocery shelf, that shows people where the things are in the grocery store, that makes that thing that we all have to do, unless you have enough money to pay someone else to go do it for you via an app. It's the things us regular folks got to do. Go buy our groceries. I like making that experience a little bit better for people. That feels essential. That feels like a part of our society. And then I also want to create content, because content is important. Now, content in this case is only important to the degree in which some company can sell advertising on it. That's the value they see. But I see a greater value. I see the value in people sharing knowledge, people entertaining each other, people being exposed to new ideas, new ways of thinking. Content really does have power. Use that power responsibly as you go out there and create content. Think about the better world that you want to create. Think about the type of people you want to associate with and who you actually are, and not just some dumb mob mentality. And create something fun and engaging and entertaining that people can really enjoy in the way I feel like we used to enjoy things. And we don't seem to really enjoy things anymore. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to create. And I hope you'll join me. Join me either as a creator or as someone who enjoys the content. Join me turn your back on the old Hollywood system. Embrace the independent content creators. I want to thank you so much for listening. You can find me anywhere on the internet at jarhumor.com. This is the cartoonist, content creator, grocery clerk, Jar Humor, signing off.